It's been 2 weeks now since matric pupils sat down for the first paper of the final examinations. The Basic Education Department says that there have been some hurdles along the way, but has managed to ensure that all candidates write their papers. Newzroom Afrika's Veronica Makhoali now joins us live from Kempton Park in Ekurhuleni with the Basic Education spokesperson Elijah Mhlanga. Veronica, very good morning. To tell us about the focus of the conversation that you're going to have now with the Basic Education spokesperson.
Well, Algin, you'd remember that early in October, the Department of Basic Education said that it was ready, of course, to roll out the mammoth task of the National Senior Certificate Exams, a crucial examination for South African matric candidates. As you'd know, that there's over 800,000 of them sitting for this examination. So, of course, on the department side, there's been measures to make sure that this is rolled out smoothly. But, of course, you cannot account for the hurdles that have been faced by the department. And we're going to be speaking now to the spokesperson to understand exactly how the progress of the rollout of these exams have been going, and update as well on in regards to what has been happening specifically around the schooling sector. We've seen many cases in terms of school children. This is from issues of spaza shops. We've seen, of course, that inclement weather that has hit provinces, including the Eastern Cape and KwaZulu-Natal. And we're going to get a sense of exactly where the matric exams fit in regards to all that has happened in and around the schooling sector. Elijah, thank you so much for your time. I think first and foremost, let's start in regards to the progress of the rollout. As the department, are you happy so far from a logistical point of view?
Good morning. Thanks very much. Yes, we are. 88 of the 200 question papers have since been written, and they were all written in all the centers. The only hurdle, of course, it was the Eastern Cape last week, where 319 learners couldn't write because of the flooding there. But we have since given them a new date of the 28th of November, which is when they will write. Other than that, it's all been smooth, and we're grateful for that. Yeah.
We cannot, of course, ignore what has been happening around the schooling sector in regards to many of the learners somewhat facing ailments. This is from the issues of spaza shops. We've seen as well some of these kids also involved in the protest that has been happening around this specific issue. Has this affected the examination process at all?
Not at all. Fortunately, there hasn't been any disruption to the examinations, even in places like Mpumalanga, where in Nkomazi and Bushbuck Ridge there was damage to schools. Even the crisis that happened as a result of that has not resulted in the exam being disrupted. So we're happy with the measures that are being put in place by the different officials in the different places. Insofar as the learners are concerned, in their involvement in the protests, yes, we've observed that, and we encourage and urge families to be aware of the implications of their children getting involved in such protests, because they could have devastating implications as well. So we are saying to them, please talk to the children to conduct themselves differently. Yes, we know there are concerns, but authorities are dealing with those concerns. There was a briefing of net joints led by the Minister of Health, which outlined all the issues and the next steps that are going to be taken. So let's allow authorities to deal with that matter. But when it comes to exams, we have noted an increase in the number of our candidates who are writing in hospitals. They are falling sick, and there's different ailments. So we are appealing to families in particular to support their children, because there could be some stress, there could be other things that are affecting them during the exam. So we are saying, please pay close attention to what they're going through and make sure that they get the support they deserve.
And as a department, I can only imagine having to process an examination in a hospital. How does that work in terms of making sure that the learner still has that opportunity to write?
Well, we work very closely with the Department of Health. In fact, when it comes to exams, we work with almost every department, because we need the support that we can get. So insofar as the hospital writing is concerned, we go to the hospital, speak to whoever is in charge, for us to have an environment where the learner can be able to write. Of course, there will be an official from the department to do the invigilation monitoring. Where there's a need for a counselor, that person will be there. We are doing this to make sure that there's no child left behind because of any other reason. If they're in a good position and they agree that they want to write, we allow them to write. Just like this other learner who fell pregnant and gave birth in the morning and came to write in the afternoon. We are providing support to them. It might sound extraordinary, but it is out of their willingness and determination that they want to continue to write, even under such circumstances. We don't force them to do that, but it's what they say they want to see happen. We also had another learner who was involved in a vehicle accident a week ago, and there was an exam on the Monday. We had to arrange a scribe, someone to write for him while he dictates the answers. It was something that the family agreed should happen, so we provided the support. So we go all out to make sure that there's no learner left behind.
Yeah, definitely extraordinary measures there. But let's talk about what has always been the conversation around the National Senior Certificate exams, and that is the issue of cheating. In regards to that, how have the learners been adhering to what the department has pleaded from the very beginning to say, please, no measures of cheating? Let's talk us through that, especially given the fact that the learners did sign that pledge with the department, ensuring that they would, of course, make sure that these exams are kept, processed well.
It's amazing that the majority of them are complying, but there are still some bad elements, bad behavior that we are seeing on a daily basis, reporting learners coming into the exam center either with a cell phone or crib notes. And we're seeing that every day, and we are saying to them, remember the pledge that you signed. The pledge said that you wouldn't do that, but why are you doing it now? We also need to remind them that this could affect your life, because you might not have your results. They might be nullified, and if you are found guilty, you could also be banned from writing 3 exams, which means your life will come to a standstill for an extended period of time. I repeat this, that there are still candidates who got involved in cheating. It's been 3 years, others 5 years, others more. They still have not received their results. It's a problem. So please stop it. Make sure that you rather prepare. Talk to your teachers, come to school every day, use past question papers, form study groups. Make sure that you are adequately prepared for the exam. That way you will avoid cheating. So I'm saying, please remember the pledge that you've signed. It's very important. It was not just a simple document for you to look at. It's a commitment that you need to adhere to.
All right. And in regards to, of course, where we stand in regards to the schools as well that were damaged during that inclement weather, an update perhaps from the department on how they've been able to help those schools make sure that the exam centers are still up and running.
Yeah, in fact, the last report that we got from Mpumalanga, particularly in Bushbuckridge area, it's 52 schools that were damaged in the hailstorm. On Sunday and Monday last week, we spent days there monitoring the situation. The reports were coming in slowly, and finally 52 schools affected in one way or another. We know that in the high schools, which were currently busy with the exams, those would have been moved to churches. There are some churches that have really come through to help us with their spaces that are being used now as exam centers. In some other schools, plans have been made to avail the other classrooms that are still in good shape to be used for examination. So exam is going on under difficult circumstances. We're still counting the actual cost of the damage. Clearly, we'll have to go knock on the door of Treasury again. It's something that we did not expect, something that you can't budget for. It's a natural phenomenon. It's something that you have to really fix once it has happened. But our focus is really to make sure that we create a conducive environment for teaching and learning, but also for this particular exam to be concluded without any further disturbance.
Yeah. And of course, now that we're really in the works of things and you've been able as a department to iron out any of those obstacles and issues that have come out, a word perhaps maybe to the matrics as they continue on this path of getting their final exams through.
Yeah, thanks for that. It was Friday mathematics last week. Tomorrow it's Mathematics Monday. So I hope today, right now, you're busy preparing for that, because it's one of those key subjects that you need in your life if you chose it. And we have maths in 3 variations. One is mathematics as what they call pure maths. You have technical maths as well, and then mathematics literacy, which means all those candidates who are writing tomorrow at 9 o'clock, please make sure that you avoid all the distractions today, because tomorrow is a big day for you.
Yeah, in fact, we remember specifically the Education Minister, Sivuya Kharibes, there saying that please, no TikTok, no Facebook and no social media. That was, of course, the spokesperson for the Department of Education, gives us just an update in regards to where the department finds itself in the rollout of the National Senior Certificate exams. You heard there Aldrin speaking about the fact that there has been some obstacles that the department didn't account for. This includes many children that have been writing in hospital, but they're saying that because of their willingness of some of these matric candidates, they've been able to meet them halfway to make sure that they do get an opportunity to write this paper. The issue, again, of crypt notes as well as cell phones in some of these exam centers is something that the department is battling with, reminding as well candidates to remember the pledge that they made and saying that they will, of course, face the consequences of being caught cheating in these examination processes. And you heard, of course, the big paper, mathematics, tomorrow. It makes me kind of shiver, reminds me of my own time as a matric pupil. Aldrin.
Well, I was going to throw an equation your way, try and solve for X, but let's leave that. Veronica Makhoali there, ahead of the matriculants writing their maths paper tomorrow.